Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman. Tonight, we've got a special guest. Doug Rappoport is joining us. And Doug, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And Dave, how you feeling? You feeling better? Everything going well?
I'm well again.
Good.
Again?
I came back from Detroit. I got sick. I don't know what I had, but it was really nasty.
It's Detroit-itis.
Something.
Yeah. Well, or harpoitis, but yeah. Well, thankfully you're feeling better.
Harpotitis.
There you go.
It's the black lung that I got from Harpo's.
Or whatever else that Pete was saying. That's cool. I'm glad you're feeling better. And Doug, thank you for joining us. We've been talking about having you on the show for a while. Dave, like as soon as Dave and I started the show, by the way, this is episode 27.
Hey,
which is super cool.
yeah.
And so thanks for joining us. And we've been talking about having you on, like, even from the very beginning. Dave was like, "Oh, we got to get Doug Rappoport on." So, I'm glad we were able to finally work it out to have you on.
Great. Yeah. Very cool.
I know you play.
It just took me that long to ask.
Well, you had to get around to it, and you're pretty busy with lots of stuff, of course. So, but yeah, so just for people who don't know, right now we got 41 viewing right now, and growing. So you played with Edgar Winter, right?
That's correct. I still do. Yeah.
And right, so you're still touring with him. Tell us about that. How'd that come about?
Well, I was tooling around. Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, but I was tooling around town like everybody else. Playing in bands and just trying to stand out. Ahead of a million other guitar players. And
Right.
I'll just little history real quick. I got my first pro rig from Mr. Dave Friedman here. And it was like back in the early 90s. Yeah.
Really?
It was it was like a high school graduation present. My dad hooked me up with some gear. So we got a VHT power amp, and we got one of those Akasha Rock Mods rack mount, and a Proverb, or what do they call it? The Elyse's little rack mount.
Quadreverb or something?
That's it, the Quadreverb.
Was it a Quadreverb? Really?
It was a Quadreverb, yeah. And I got a 412 slant cab, and Dave wired it all up, put it together for me. He even showed me how to use a couple things, and so I got my first pro rig from Dave. So I've known Dave for a long, long time. So
That's super cool.
Yeah, I still have all the cables that he made for me. So
Oh, wow.
that's quality.
Probably wish you still had the rock mod. Those are pretty cool, actually.
They were really good.
Yeah.
But got to pay rent. So
Yeah.
So Edgar was I just happened to be working part-time at a auction house in Beverly Hills, and the owner of the auction house wanted to make a jazz album. He wanted to be a singer, so he wanted to do an album singing old jazz standards, and he hired an engineer. And my job, working at the gallery there, he just said, go pick him up, help him out with whatever he needs, help him haul all his gear from here to there. And so I did that, and I became friendly with the engineer, who happened to be friends with Edgar. And I gave this guy, the engineer, a demo CD I had made. I think I don't know, I forget what I made it on, but it was okay.
Right.
And he really liked it. He liked it, and he handed it to Edgar. Edgar had actually hired somebody already, and this engineer guy said, "Well, you got to hear this guy." And so I got a call from Edgar Winter one day, just out of the blue, and crazy. So I went to his house, and he said, "All right, I'm going to sing some blues licks," and he sang some stuff, and I copied it, and then I just took a few solos, and he picked up the phone, and he called the tour manager and said, "Yeah, cancel the other guy's ticket. I want to take this guy." So
Wow.
it was pretty cool. So he took a chance on a young and inexperienced guy. So eternally grateful.
How many years have you been playing with him?
That's like 16 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great gig.
So how old were you when you started that?
I get 28 around there.
Okay.
Late 20s.
Great.
So how often is he touring?
You know, as the years go by, it gets a little less and less. Yeah. So
is it like keeping you busy most of the year, or no, like just part time?
Yeah, it's like during the off seasons, it's I mean, November, December, January is pretty dead, but before summer and before summertime, it's usually like four dates a week, maybe.
Cool.
Or 3 dates a week. Then in the summer, we pick up, maybe get on a tour. Like last year, we went on tour with Deep Purple and Alice Cooper, and that was cool. We pick up little tours like that.
Right.
But, it's getting less and less. He's 70 years old now. He still kicks ass, but I don't think he's comfortable doing like heavy touring like we did when I first joined the band.
Yeah, of course.
I actually have a buddy of mine who tours with Chubby Checker. He plays with him, and not very often, but they play, which is crazy. But that's cool. That's a great gig. That is a great gig. Yeah. And then I just saw you doing some videos for Seymour Duncan on their pedals.
Yeah, that's right.
Those were great videos.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's funny. I moved out of LA up to Oregon 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and immediately I hooked up with this phenomenal musician named Keith Merrill. He's really well known in the metal world. He's just this phenomenal composer and engineer and filmer. And he called me out of the blue and was like, yeah, Duncan would like us to work together. So we did. We got together. We made a bunch of cool videos with different kinds of pickups, and we worked so well together. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy, and it was just great. We did a bunch of videos, and after that, Keith moved on, and then Duncan contacted me and was like, let's keep making stuff. So I did. I don't know how many videos I've done, but a bunch, and they're really cool. So that's good.
Great.
Yeah,
that is good stuff. Yeah, I was watching the chorus pedal just last night.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
A lot of good. It just showed a lot of good genres of, types of styles you could do with the pedal, and also styles of music that you can play too, which is great. Dave, I think you need to get Doug to do some Friedmann videos.
Oh yeah, it's coming. He's done some in the past.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of videos.
Sure.
Oh, have you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's already done a bunch. Yeah. But no, we talked about that. He's got a bunch more in the pike coming. So
that's cool.
Of course, I got to get you an amp, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, you don't have a Friedmann amp already?
No.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely have seen videos of you playing Friedmann amps.
You use the Friedmann amp in that Duncan video you're talking about.
Yeah, I use the Friedmann amp on almost every video I do. So
unless it's for an amp.
Yeah. Unless it's for an amp, then I don't. Well, maybe no.
Sorry, guys.
No, I do.
I don't know what happened. I don't get amp videos anymore. No one calls me for amps now.
Yeah. No, but like anything like a pedal video or any of that stuff, I use the Friedmans because also obviously they record so well, and I'm not just blowing smoke because we're on here with Dave and stuff, but they record very well, and the clean platform just, of course they're known for their overdrive, which is killer, but the clean can take pedals like unbelievable. Yep. So pedal stuff just works great. Yeah, that's why I use them.
Mm-hmm.
So what Friedmann amps do you actually have?
I have the BE and the SS. Yeah.
So how, lots of people would be like, I know I've seen questions 1,000 times, and I actually have never played an SS. So how would you describe the differences on like the overdrive channel, the voicing?
The BE I find is a little more compressed. in the upper upper mids, has more compression.
Mhm.
And I find that SS is a little more open sounding. God, it's really hard. It's like telling someone who's never seen purple before what purple looks like, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
The clean on the BE has this beautiful British jangly thing, which I love. And then you get more of a Fendery clean on the SS, I think. And they both take pedals beautifully. I think I don't know, man. They're both. There's a slightly different voicing in the high end. Really, is really the major difference, and a little less compressed on the SS is what I'd say.
Yeah, maybe the SS is a bit fatter too.
Yeah, it's very fat.
Fatter and it's not really darker, but because the treble knob is an audio taper pot, where the treble position is different.
Huh.
So on the BE, like half on the treble would be more like the SS at 7 or something. You know, so it's like almost a quarter turn different.
Okay.
It's just where audio taper it comes in later in the sweep, and linear taper comes in more linearly, you know, from the beginning. Just kind of
right. Yeah, you know, I found that when I go into like this last touring situation I had in Japan, I took both. I took the BE and the SS, and we tried both, and we ended up going with the BE in the end because it wasn't as bassy. It was a little more focused.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't as fat sounding, and because I'm playing with another guitar player, I'm playing with the keyboard player, you know, so the BE just kind of just popped right in there perfectly, and just you know, boom. So, yeah,
that's cool.
But I love both.
That's what I've got. Yeah, I've got the BE. I'd love to try the SS. Next NAMM, I have to try.
Killer. Yeah,
definitely. I'm sure it is. Steve's got a great ear too. So,
yeah, he's got both too.
Wasn't the S?
He uses both. He uses sometimes he uses a B100, sometimes he uses the SS. So I mean, he has both. So
wasn't that based on his Marshall, the SS? Like one of his Plexis or something?
It will do that to a T, yes. It's a certain setting, a certain way, it'll do it to the T, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, his description when I originally did that amp for him was he wanted that kind of plexi tone, but he wanted it obviously controllable with a little more gain, and he wanted it to be a little fatter because he wanted the single notes to be a little on the fatter side. Than kind of the skinny, kind of squeaky, you know.
Yeah, I see.
Thing. So
interesting.
But he uses both. So he likes both at this point. So I mean that was the BE's voice thing has changed a little bit over the years and stuff. So and he uses a current one and or an SS. So just depends.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm really excited about the Deluxe, the 50 Deluxe.
Yeah, that's the one you're going to do a video for.
Yeah, I tried that at NAMM, and I was like...
I know, you're like looking at me going,
That's what everybody would... That was at NAMM, that actually, I don't think many people went to any other amp. Like, Dave Black wasn't really switching to many other amps besides just like that.
Well, that's because everyone was like stuck on it.
Yeah, it was stuck on, like, for 4 days, I think it was stuck on the BE50 for the... the whole time, which is cool. Yeah. So you also play Nags guitars?
Correct. Yes.
And those are great guitars. They look beautiful. How'd you get hooked up with them? And how long ago? I'm curious.
I guess I don't know. I think it's probably going on. I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago now. I think.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I had been a Gibson player for a long time, Les Paul, SG, mostly Les Paul, and I love those guitars. And a guy named Kelsey Alonso, he writes for Guitar Connoisseur magazine. I think it's his magazine. He got a hold of me. He said, "I want you to put down that Les Paul," and I said, "Never gonna happen." And he said, "Well, what has Gibson ever done for you?" And I was like,
That's a good question. Yeah.
So, you know, I had approached Gibson before. I was like, look, I've been playing your guitars. I've done TV shows all over the place in Europe. And, you know, I got people sending me, they go out and buy black Les Pauls just like mine. And they're like, look, Doug, I got a guitar. It's like, I'm doing my part. You know, give me some love, and they were like,
Yeah, right.
yeah. And they were just like, yeah, sorry, not going to happen. And, I got buddies in LA who also toured Gibsons. They've got like 40 of them. And all their living rooms are littered with it. And I'm like, just, at least give me like help on the price of one or something. And they were like, yeah, no, sorry, I can't do it. And about that time, Kelsey approached me. And he'd sent me a couple of guitars from some like boutique manufacturers. And I was like, it's nice, but here you go. And then he sent me a Nags. And man, that was it. I just played it and I was about to put it back and I went, hold on. And I just never put it down again. It was just like, I don't know, man. It's like everything you hope a Les Paul would be.
That's super
and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I got a signature model. See one back there.
Yeah, that one's that's not Shine, all right? That's a Relic, right?
Yeah, it's a Relic, yeah. Which is really cool.
That is.
And then this one. This is the first one I got.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's badass, man. It's such a good guitar. It's so warm and fat. And it's elegant, It's not as clumsy as a Les Paul. It's a very elegant instrument.
It's ergonomic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got that sustain.
How's the heel on it? I'm curious.
It doesn't have anything fancy.
Right. But it's
cut away a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, slender. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's thinner than a Les Paul overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the belly thing here. It's a nice fat neck. It's a big beefy neck, which I like.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So actually, we had a question, which is one of the questions I was going to ask you. So V Mazone said, "Finally, Doug Rappoport, what an amazing player! This is going to be great." He said, "Ask Doug what bridge humbucker is in his current favorite in a Super Strat." He said, but I'm curious about your signature line as well, your signature guitar.
Okay. The only Strat I have. I have to take these off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this one.
Maybe that's what
that one. That looks familiar.
Is this the one we're talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. This has. Normally, it's just I usually use it with the stock pickups, which I think Dave's designs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Correct.
But this one, I put a 78. This is a 78, and really the main reason I did is because I like the look of the zebra. The other one was black, but this is a Duncan 78, which I'm a huge fan of.
That's a great pickup. Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes.
Now I got to send you the zebra, one of mine, so you can compare.
You're talking. Yeah, absolutely. I love Dave's pickups. They're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I just like the look. I was being, I just like the look.
It does look good. I agree.
Yeah.
So the adjustable coil on the zebra. Okay, got it.
Right on. So
all right, you'll get one.
Great. But yeah, my that's what I use. I love Dave's pickups. They're great. And then on my signatures, they come standard with the 78, the Seymour Duncan 78, which I like because it's
a great pickup.
Yeah, it's a great pickup. Yeah. It's a little bit hotter than a regular PAF, so I can cover a lot of ground. I can do like blues, and I can do Van Halen, of course, and anything. I mean, I can cover the whole gamut. As opposed to, I really love low output pickups. I love them, but you're limited in what you can do. You really are. And I find if you overwind those puppies a little bit hotter, then you're good. Right in the 9.3, 9.5 range. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Yeah, I just got a Sir Thornbucker Plus.
Oh yeah.
And that's going in a special guitar that a buddy of mine just made for me. Well, a body at least. I want to show it off if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
If check this out.
It's sparkly, isn't it?
It is.
Wow.
It is sparkly.
It's a VH blue sparkle.
It is sparkly.
Yeah.
Do you not like the sparkle?
I like the sparkle. I
Okay.
just said it's sparkly.
That was hilarious.
It's unique. It's unique. It's unique for a Van Halen guitar to have the sparkle on the stripes. So that's why I said that.
Yes, exactly.
It's cool.
Exactly. So
It's cool. Totally cool.
yeah, I
That's
love
cool.
it. I love it. He did a great job on it. So and he's one of the moderators in our chat. His name is Craig, Guitar Wannabe. Craig, he's got his own thing, so I wanted to promote it for him.
Awesome.
He did a great job. So thanks for doing it. But yeah, the Thornbucker is going to go in there as well. So and that's an overwound.
Is it covered or yeah, it's open?
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
Open. I think you can get it. You can get it covered. But it's a Thornbucker Plus, which is just what you were saying, which is around the like just a little overwound, like in the 9 range.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but Dave, I got to get some of your pickups. Are they available now to purchase?
Just a hair away. Just waiting for the boxes.
Okay, let me know when they are because I definitely want to pick up.
I can get you some before that. So.
Oh, all right, cool. There you go. Oh, there's some perks. So, hey, maybe we'll run into the chat in just a moment. But you know what? First thing I wanted to ask, Doug, if you can just give us like some background. How'd you get into playing? And you know, how long ago was that? And you know, give us the background on your whole background on music. I'm curious.
Sure. Yeah. I love music as far back as I can remember. We moved. I'm from England originally, so we moved to the States when I was. We moved to Los Angeles when I was about 5 years old, and my mom had all the Queen albums. So I was really, I kind of came up on Queen, and I just spent. She had to teach me how to do the record player. She set up a little chair for me, and I'd climb up on it, and I'd put the needle she showed me how to use the needle and put on the song I like. And my favorite song of all time, still to this day, was Tenement Funsters, Sheer Heart Attack. Check it out. I just used to get lost in the music and really transported. And it just stayed with me forever. And when I went to school, I went to a little alternative school in West Los Angeles, and it was a K through 12, and all the senior kids, they all had mustaches, and they all rode motorcycles and tattoos, and they were, having sex with girls in the playground. It was a wild school, and they always had ghetto blasters, and they always played Aerosmith and Zeppelin and all the classic rock stuff, the heavier stuff. And every time they put on AC/DC, man, it would just make me, whatever I was doing, that guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it blew my mind. And my mom's a classical pianist, and we had a piano in the house, and I figured out fifths. I could hit like an E and a B. I didn't know it was an E and a B, but I found those two together. And I was like, that's it, man. That's Back in Black. And I just sit on the piano. And then the next couple of years, I had a mirror in my room, and I put my stereo on. I'd play Back in Black or Hell's Bells, and I just air guitar a tennis racket. And it occurred to me one day,
well, I learned to play guitar.
Right. Why am I doing this?
right, tennis racket ain't doing shit. So yeah, that's it. I went to my parents. I said, I want to play guitar, and that was the rest is history, man. I went to school, a little school in Santa Monica where I grew up, and got me started. And once he showed me the E chord and the D and the A, I was on my own. I was like, thank you, good, got it, thank you, bye-bye. No.
So you're self-taught? Mostly self-taught?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just loved it. I had to do it. I just did it all the time.
Right.
That was it.
So now, have you come full circle and got a turntable again?
No, unfortunately. God, that would be
Dude.
great.
All right, listen. You need to do
Yeah, I will.
You just go and do it. Get it again. Because the funny thing is, the minute you do it, and the first time you put that record on again, it's just like a flashback.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But
wow, bet.
it's just a flashback to all the records you used to, you used to play on the thing. So, it's like I remember. I think I set mine up finally recently, and a friend of mine gave me a bunch of old records he had from back, same records I used to have a long time ago, and I just grabbed one out of the pile. First one I pulled out, Van Halen 2. Okay, I'm going to put that on. And you put it on, and you literally just go, oh, my God, does that sound good? You forgot how good it sounds.
Yeah.
So if you do it, you're gonna text me, and you're gonna go, holy shit.
Well, make me some recommendations. I don't even know what to get anymore. Do you have like
company, I got a turntable from a company called U-Turn Audio.
Okay.
The basic turntable, I mean, they you can upsell it a little bit, but the basic one's like $179 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a better platter, a better needle on it too, which ups it a little bit. But probably don't need to. Seems fine. Yeah. And then I just found an old receiver. I just bought something online. You can get it for like $60 or something.
Yeah.
Look on eBay and find like an old Marantz or some Techniques or something, and
yeah.
Then you just need a pair of speakers. I had some old studio monitors.
Oh yeah, okay.
I had a pair of old Tannoy studio monitors, and I just hooked them up to the receiver and done.
Finished. As long as they weren't NS10s, so.
Yeah, NS10s will work, but probably not the greatest listening experience. But you can find something. I mean, I had a Tannoy PBM8s, which really actually work really well for a stereo speaker.
Okay.
I think they're super cheap if you can find them too.
Yeah.
So they're not expensive to get, and but man, I swear to God, it'll alter your life again.
I remember when the CDs first came out, and I went and bought, I went and bought like Van Halen on a CD, and I listened to it, and I go, it's not right.
Yeah, that's my experience too. I remember having let's see, a Fair Warning on album, and I listened to it forever on album on a shitty stereo too, not the greatest stereo.
Yeah.
And then when I got it on CD, I put it on. I'm like going, "What's wrong?"
Right.
It doesn't quite sound right.
No, didn't sound right at all. Yeah, I said that to my dad.
I totally relived it again though when I put that album back on. I'm like going, "Oh my God, listen to that!"
That's awesome.
So
I'm gonna do it.
You really need to do it.
I do need to do it. I remember my dad had bought a stereo right when CDs and MP3s were starting to blow up, and my dad spent like tons of money on this real fancy system to play. He even had it like custom, like hardwire tuned for jazz, which he loved. And he was saying, I got all these CDs, and I said, they don't sound as good, Dad. He was like, you're full of shit. We have superior sound. I'm telling you, Dad, it's not good, man. And then years later, some audiophile expert guy talked to him and said, yeah, no, your son's right, man. It's not the same. You're losing a lot in the digital domain. And
now we've all dumbed it down to MP3s and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You listen to it and you think it's normal. Well, the minute you put on that album again, you're going to be like, oh, let's go on eBay and buy some more albums.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait, that old Queen record. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I want that. Click.
Yeah.
Click.
I still have all those records.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you see what's preventing me from doing it is because I got rid of all those albums many years ago. I don't have any of that crap. I even got rid of my CDs. I turned everything,
It's not a big deal. Like sometimes you can go to like swap meets and stuff, and like you'll see like they'll have albums out, and literally you can just go through there and buy like 10 albums that that are moderately interesting to you, maybe some really good ones, but some other ones that are decent. You just grab them all for almost nothing,
Yeah.
And but then online, you just sit there online. It's really easy now, so you just go online. You're going, oh, I want that, and you're not going to think. If you're going to spend $20 on it, you're not going to even blink.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you go online and buy all sorts of cards of garbage for that kind of money all the time.
Yes, I do. Unfortunately,
You know, so you know, why not just buy a couple records, a couple here, a couple there, a couple. You know, before you know it, you got 15 and then
Van
more.
Halen, man, that's what I want to do. I want to hear Van Halen again on a record player.
But that's what
I want to
you
do.
need to
Van
do.
Halen,
That is great.
Back in Black. For those about the rock, I'd love to get that again because that was.
I still got it.
That's another classic one.
That's the first record I ever bought with my own money. First record I ever bought with my own money.
Really?
I didn't know it came. I didn't know it'd come after Back in Black. So I got For Those About to Rock, and then I loved it. And then I got Back in Black, and that was it, man.
Yeah, but you know what? For Those About to Rock is a very underrated album.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
I agree. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great album. I can listen to that like sometimes over Back in Black. You know,
yeah, no, it's great.
Absolutely.
And now they're playing.
But if you want to know though how a rock band is supposed to sound, Back in Black is about the most perfect example of a well mixed, well recorded record there is.
Brilliant.
I mean, if you put that on in your studio and you listen to it on NS10s, like you said, and whatever, and you listen to that album, it sounds great.
Yeah.
And you put on other stuff, like newer stuff, and even if it's not, you know, even if you're just listening to it off iTunes, it still sounds amazing. And you compare it to other albums and other bands and different things, and you're just like, no, nothing touches that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Mutt Lange albums in the early '80s, late '70s, early '80s.
Yeah,
Mutt Lange. It's nothing better than that.
Yeah,
Mutt.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing production, amazing stuff. Now they're supposedly recording an album with Axl Rose. I heard.
Yeah.
Who? Him and Angus? That's it.
Yeah. Well, I guess. And Cliff maybe, and
Cliff retired, man. He's out.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
So who's left? Yeah, you're right.
And what's the other guitar player that what's his name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Yeah.
I thought it was his
cousin or whatever.
Yeah, his cousin or his nephew or something like that. Yeah, is playing. But crazy, man, with Axl Rose.
Yeah, I'm most likely to be Brendan O'Brien again. Which is good.
Well, cool. Good for them to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
I think Angus just wants to keep playing. So
that's cool, I guess. I'd rather see GNR make another album with Angus. I mean, with Axl personally. That's what I'd like to see. But.
Well,
agreed.
Yeah, that's another great album that sounded amazing. I'd like to get that on album. Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah,
the engineer for that record's a friend of mine.
Makasha Ryan.
Yeah, you know Makasha?
Yeah, how's he doing?
Good. I haven't talked to him for a little while, but yeah. I mean, like every once in a while we chat. He's somewhere back east now.
Oh wow,
Ohio or somewhere. Or yeah, every once in a while we chat.
In the early not long after I met you, Dave, I hooked up with Andy Brower, and he was like, "You come with me. I'm gonna make you a star. You're gonna be the next big session guy, and like this, and we're gonna make a tape with you." And he brought me into the studio and put me on all these sessions. And Makasha was the engineer.
Yeah, that's when I first met Makasha. Yeah. And I knew Mike Klink too, the producer. So.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, from a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
I think Mike Klink was in the right place at the right time with that whole scenario. I think both of them more.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it. From what I read, they were going through. They interviewed. Who was it? Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley to first produce the album.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been great.
Oh, I never heard of that. Wow.
Yeah, and supposedly then they went on. I heard Steven Adler talking about it once. Also, he was saying that. Well, it was. I also read the book, but bottom line was they gave him a real hard time. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. Supposedly, Axl was total douche to him, and at least that's what I read. But Steven Adler was, like, he's a huge Kiss fan,
Yeah.
So he was just like, "What are you, crazy? This is freaking Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley in our freaking apartment. Like, are you fucking crazy?"
Right.
But they those guys didn't want them producing. But and I think those guys went on to produce Trickster or something like that. That's what he was saying. He's like, we could have ended up sounding like Trickster. Oh my God.
No.
Hey, another thing.
Here's something in the chat that is good. There, Reverb has a site for buying albums. A separate site, Reverb LP. It says on here.
Wow.
A whole separate website for albums.
Oh wow,
that is cool.
Right.
So there you go. Reverb dominating, taking over the entire world.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Reverb. Did you see on April Fools? I think it was this year, April Fools. They came out and sent out an email that they had Reverb for lefties.
And you got sucked into that, did you?
Yeah, I totally got sucked into it. I saw the email. I'm like, no shit, Reverb for lefties. Yeah, I clicked on it, and they're like, yeah, April Fools.
That's just cruel, man.
I'm like, we get enough shit as it is, and don't get any. Really, we don't get any shit. Just people don't make enough stuff for us. But
I married a lefty, so I'm on your side, bro. Don't worry, I got you.
They need to make more stuff. Well, Dave's making me a lefty.
Oh yeah,
one of these days.
It
got turned in, so it's coming eventually.
But it hasn't.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah,
Mark. Dave told me, I don't know if don't get mad at me for spilling the beans here, but he's making a left-handed Friedmann amp, actually.
Oh, I heard all the knobs go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
It starts off really loud, then you got to turn it louder. Lower.
Yeah, all the knobs work in backwards rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes all the way to 0.
Yeah. So
that's funny. Yeah, I should have done it differently, but what can you do? I'm gonna go back in the chat if you don't mind. Say hi to some folks. We got Guitar Tex, who's Mark Attaway, shouting out from Virginia. He says Nag71 says Dougie Raps with a big thumbs up. Quentin James, hey all. Quentin, I hope you're doing good. Let's see. Charles Graziato, Tom Brino. What's going on, Tom? Speaking of Tom, so that article, Dave, is going to be published, I think, like in a week or so on the Van Halen news desk.
Cool.
About us helping, along with Tom, find a guitar for Jerry Cantrell.
Oh, you get ripped off or something?
You didn't hear this story. It was one of the EVH music bands that Eddie Van Halen had given him had gotten ripped off in about 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
From Henson Studios.
Hmm.
When he was recording Degradation Trip, and it just vanished, and no one knew what happened to it.
Oh.
Until it was found recently.
Wow.
And we were part of getting it back. Tom Brino and Mark and myself and my partner Rob helped, and because I'm the one that texted Jerry initially. Hey, did you have a guitar stolen? We might have found it.
Yeah, it was.
He wound up getting it back.
How did you know it was his?
Detective work.
Yeah, Tom did some detective work, and
it was a gold top, right? So they only made very few of those guitars, 27 or 26 or something, ever.
Yeah.
2, normally those guitars never come with rear routing for the tremolos. but the two guitars that went to Jerry had rear routing.
Oh wow!
For the trems, and so it was a rear routed one,
which is unheard of.
Which is unheard of. That doesn't really exist. We had found out that it had gone. They sort of had a record of it. It had gone. The Music Man had said it had gone to their artist relations department. So there's another thing.
Right.
And then in the end, we found a picture of Jerry playing the guitar, or Tom did, and where you could visibly see the bird's eye on his neck. And the bird's eye matched exactly. So it was the guitar.
Wow.
And now he has it on tour.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's cool stuff.
I remember seeing him play it, playing that guitar. I guess they had done the MTV Music Awards and they had just gotten off the road with Van Halen.
Yeah.
He was playing that Music Man. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's he had two of them. He got a blue one and a gold top.
Okay, yeah.
He's had the blue one forever, but the gold top was gone. He thought he'd never get it back.
And a gift from Eddie Van Halen, no less.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It wasn't so much the guitar; it was just that it was a gift that it bothered him all these years.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's good story. Yeah, I'm glad to have been part of it, and thanks, Tom. So that article will be out on the Van Halen news desk actually in a few weeks. So.
All right, Tom.
Yeah. Thanks.
There you go,
buddy. Let's see. Michael Shane, Mehran Khan, JV Venus. He says, Doug's the man. Blackie DH. Hey, Mark and Dave. Thank you. We got Craig Guitar Wannabe. What's going on, bro? Charles G Guitar says, oh, yeah, this gonna be good. I like how he wrote that. That's very funny. Greetings from Europe. So that's cool. Lance Lopez, look out, Dougie Raps, watching here in Texas.
Lance.
All right, what's going on, Lance? And then we got somebody, Dave Johnson from London.
Hey, right on. Hey, Dave.
7008. How you doing, Jay? And I'm just going through for questions as well. Let's see. Chris Ham says, hi. Quentin James. Chris Ham says, is that a bassman behind you?
No, you know what that is? It's called a PV Vintage. Which, I think they actually were making it to be like a poor man's bassman. So, yeah. It's a friend of mine's. I'm watching it for him. So, it's cool.
That's cool. And what's the is that a Music Man behind you? Actually, all the way behind.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's an Axis.
Okay, those are cool.
Yeah,
with a Floyd on it. Yeah. See, I can never find I would love to get one of those guitars, but they don't make a lefty Axis. They make an Axis Super Sport. With, with like the Fender style, vintage style trim. It's like
really they don't make the Floyd with why not?
I don't know.
Can't order it custom?
Maybe you can, but I've never. I'm just
that'd be cool.
Maybe you can do it all custom. Yeah,
I've never owned one. I always wanted to own one of those guitars. I never did.
They make nice guitars.
Yeah. Don't you have a Wolfgang in there, Dave? You got
I have the black Wolfgang that Ed gave me. Woo! Which is great. But I do really like those old Ernie balls.
Yeah.
So,
it's good. The neck is like it's like holding a pool cue, man. It's really
it is on a roundish kind of small side.
Yeah.
But it is cool.
Yeah, the necks are unique. They're cool, and they just have a nice finish to them. Ernie Ball does a nice job with their finishes too.
Oh yeah, the top notch Ernie Ball for sure.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Very
Everything
good stuff.
They make is good. Yeah.
So tell us about your, and I'm going to screw this up now. Eikichi Yazawa. No, I screwed it up. Yazawa. Tell us about that gig that you have in Japan.
Okay. All right. There's an artist who's been, he's a cultural icon over there. You see his face on posters, and his name's Eikichi Yazawa, and he's been going for, I don't know, since the 60s. And I guess the closest, there are a few huge artists in Japan that nobody outside of Japan really knows about, and he's one of them. And I guess the best way to tell you about him, or to give you an equivalent, would be he's like Mick Jagger. He's like Mick Jagger over there. So he's phenomenal talent, man. He really knocked my socks off, man. I got a call from the drummer in the band, Jimmy Paxson, who is currently with Lindsey Buckingham, plays with Stevie Nicks and the Dixie Chicks. And anyway, he was doing the gig, and he's like, a spot opened up, and he called me and said, come to Japan. So they invited me very kindly, and I was there for 3.5 months, and it was an incredible experience. It was all arenas and theaters, the whole tour, and it was real adventurous because I ended up breaking my finger. I don't know if you know this story.
I saw that. That's
You
right.
want to tell the story how?
Yes.
This is a good story, people.
Okay.
You can't make this up.
No, I can't. I'm in a bar, and these 3 guys are coming at me. They got knives, and guns. Oh, yeah. That I can make up. No, so here's what happened. And I'll make this a PSA announcement to all my musician friends out there. So please pay attention to what I'm telling you. This is real. Okay. Backstage, after the 5th show, we got about 30 dates. This is after the 5th show, and I've got my skinny jeans on, or whatever you call them, and sweating, so they're run really tight. And I was in a confined space, and I couldn't really, bend down to pull the pants down. So I was using my hand like this, see, and pushing the pants down like this, and they were really on tight, and they were wet, and they weren't coming off. And pushing and pushing. I'm talking to the guys, going, and I just pop like this, and just felt this pain in my finger right here, just popped back, and I grabbed it and I pulled it back in, and then it just drooped. It just dropped over like that. Like, have you ever seen the double jointed people, and this joint pops out this way, and then this one pops forward? It was nasty. So anyway, it was broken. So I ended up going to the doctor, and we took x-rays, and he said I had to splint it. So I wore a splint. We taped it up, and luckily I had like 2 days off, and I could sit in my room and relearn my parts, and just, learn how to do different fingerings, choose different voicings. And, I had super talented music. Jeff Coleman was the other guitar player, and he's super talented, amazing player. And I gave him all my solos and everything that I had to do, and he was like, no problem. And then Guy Allison, this amazing keyboard player, he figured out ways that he could, fill in the little holes that were being left behind by my incapacitation. Is that a word? No.
It works.
Okay, good. And so anyway, yeah, that's what happened. I broke my finger, and I tell you, man, within a couple of days, the producer of the show would come over and go, so can you take any of your solos back? They really love balance over there. They love this guy does a solo, this guy does a solo, this guy does a solo, and so on. They really love that. So they didn't like that. They wanted me to get more solos in. So I got all my solos back. I figured out how to do them, and I played with 3 fingers and this thing sticking up in the air like this. And
wow.
And I finished the tour, man. I finished the whole tour, and everyone was super supportive and amazing. And luckily, it's been a long road, but it's almost 100% better. So thank God. It's a nightmare, man. That's the worst nightmare if you're a musician. So anyway, the lesson for all you musicians out there, anyone who wants to protect your fingers, it's not an uncommon injury. People do it when they're tucking a bed sheet in. They push too hard, pop. And basically what happened was my tendon ruptured. My tendon in here just snapped right off. You're taking off your socks, pulling your pants down, anything where you're pushing with your hand like this, please, people, be careful, because it does happen. And so if you're a musician, I mean, here's the fucking funny thing about it is, I don't skateboard. I don't, what do you call snowboard. I'm real careful. My son's a sports guy. I don't play basketball too much. I'm always careful of my hands.
Right.
How do I break my finger?
Taking your pants off.
Pants.
Oh wow!
Murphy's Law.
Well, you made it through it.
Yeah.
Maybe it even made you a better player because you're forced to do it a different way.
Yeah, maybe. They invited me back, so that's something.
Well, yeah, this time you get to do the tour without injury.
That's right. Yes.
That's professionalism, though, man. You finished the tour. You figured out how to do it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was very, very scary. And I remember the first show that I did. These are all. First of all, when this guy announces a tour, it sells out immediately. Okay, from beginning to end, it sells out immediately. And everywhere we're playing packed arenas, right? Packed concert halls. And the first show I went back to was a concert hall. And man, I tell you, I was doing it. And about halfway through the show, I started crying, man. I was bawling because I didn't know if I permanently damaged my finger. I didn't know if I was going to be going home and letting everybody down. It was, I learned, I worked hard. I figured out my parts. Everyone was so supportive. So I'm standing there on stage and I'm crying, I'm playing, I'm crying. And then we have this whole thing where Yazawa-san, he introduces the band, and when he announced my name, I just started bawling and I'm in front of all these people. And, my bandmates are looking at me like, oh my God, he's having a nervous breakdown. So, it was really just like, I did it, and thank you, God, and the universe, whatever, I did it, and I can make it, I can do it. So it was a huge emotional thing for me to get through those first few shows, and then to finish the tour was really, really cool. And then to be invited back, so I'll be going back this summer. So we're all doing stadiums.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, man, that's freaking killer.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
who he is.
Yeah, so I actually had seen some of your posts with your finger, and I'd wondered what happened, so I didn't know the background. Wow, man.
Now you know.
Yeah, I actually about
lots of bar chords.
2 or 3 years ago, I broke my wrist, so broke my my right hand, and since that was my fretting hand, so I couldn't. The whole thing was shot for 6 to 8 weeks, and I was really.
How did
worried.
you do that?
I was walking.
Put your socks on?
No, I fell on ice. Basically, I was walking with slippery shoes, like suit shoes, and on like an icy area when it started to it was just starting to freeze over at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, as maybe 6, 7 o'clock at night when the
and you put your hand down to brace.
Yep, fell backwards like this.
Yeah,
and just the whole wrist just went backwards, and I knew it the second I got up. The second I got up, I was like, oh my God, it's broken. And then I had meetings the next day, and I was like, I'm not going to the hospital. I was, so I waited till I flew home like a day and a half later, and I figured maybe it's not broken, maybe it's just sprained. You got that hope, I'm sure, right? Just like you had, right? Maybe it's not, And then they took the X-ray, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have to put you in a cast today. I'm like, no way, really?
Yeah.
And that was 8 weeks later. But then after 8 weeks, everything was fine. So thank God. But
I'll tell you what, man, it comes to will. I did the same injury as you about 2 years before I got the Edgar gig. I broke my wrist the same way. I fell, and I had to have pins drilled in to close the bone. Yeah, really? And they told me that it was a 70% chance that I'd have to, the pins wouldn't work. I'd have to get the bone fused, and I'd lose mobility in my wrist. And I was like, no way. No way.
Not gonna
Not
happen.
an option. Not gonna happen.
right.
And so it worked in the end. I mean, it worked out. So that was will, man. There was no option that this thing wasn't gonna heal, and I wasn't gonna be able to go. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You can't lose that function. I mean,
That's right.
There's other things you got to do with that too. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
All right.
You break your wrist.
That was the therapy.
Yeah. Rehab.
Oh man.
That's why it worked.
That's right. That's right. Stronger and faster than ever, actually.
Hey, we got a nice comment from Maron Khan says, Doug's Duncan Saturday Night Special Pickups demo is the greatest demo of all time. Superb playing.
Thank you, sir. That was one of the demos I did with Keith Merrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next person, R2R3, says, Keith Merrow is a great guitarist. I have his signature Protone overdrive pedal.
Cool.
That's cool.
He's a Schecter artist. His Schecter signature guitar is like the highest selling guitar there by far. Yeah, he's killer, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's incredibly talented guy. Yeah.
I feel stupid for not knowing who he is. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Yeah, absolutely. And use your good speakers too when you listen to him.
Okay.
Because he's a production. His production is outstanding. So
okay,
it's worth it, yeah.
We also have a suggestion from Charles G. Guitar. He says Lance Lopez would be a good guest for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I played with Lance in a band. We were in a band together called Supersonic Blues Machine, which was a really cool blues band that was built around Lance, who's a great guitar player and singer. And Lance invited me to come out and do a bunch of shows with him, which was an absolute blast. So, yeah, I've known Lance a long time. Great dude. Lance.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely talk to him. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if I have any other questions that I can find. So there was a question. Charles Nuzza says, "How does Doug compare his BE to his Helios and CCV?"
Well, I don't have the Helios anymore.
Oh, there you go.
So there's one out of the equation.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Oh, the CCV?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do I compare the two?
Okay.
Here's the thing with these high gain EL34 amps is I find that each maker has, or builder designer has a voice. They, you know what I mean? Like a style. Like they have a voice that they like to put into what they're doing with a high gain or EL34 type amp. And it's like their signature sound, you know. Bogner's got his sort of frequency that he likes to accentuate. Dave's got frequencies that he likes that he accentuates in his circuits. And Mark, the Cameron, the same thing. He's got more of the scooped. I guess it's a little more scooped. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much. I mean, the Cameron, the CCV gets heavier. Definitely more gain and low-end saturation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's got more low-end saturation. The B's got a wider. It seems like it covers more spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Even though it does saturate in certain areas, it's like got a broader.
That describes it.
Yeah, it's got a broader spectrum. Yeah. Whereas the Cameron's sort of like this more focused, heavy Marshall, Warren DeMartini, but heavier even. You know, I don't know.
It's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Charles G. Guitar wants to know, do you have Duncan tweak or do anything to your 78s, or are they just stock?
Stock. All stock.
Okay. And then H. Flynn says, Doug played Eddie better than Eddie through the Friedmann. How does that work? Well, we got to. What we need to do is get Eddie on a Friedmann and hear how that sounds.
Hey, I've been trying to get Dave to introduce me to Eddie for years now. So when that happens, I'm coming over. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I get a lot of emails from people asking me what setup to get for Van Halen. And I'll tell you the truth, and it's going to sound braggadocious. I'm sorry. I can sound like Van Halen on any amp I want to, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you can't do it on like a Telecaster and a Fender, but any kind of rock amp or any guitar with a lower medium output, I can make it sound like Van Halen, and I'll tell you why. When I was learning to play guitar, I approached it a little differently than a lot of people do, in that I wasn't interested so much in learning the notes that Eddie plays, or any of my heroes for that matter. I was interested in the way they played it, the way Eddie could make a note go wow just by hitting it one time, how he could make one note span this tonal spectrum and make a noise like someone talking or something. His vibrato, that kind of stuff, what my friend Eric Dover calls the inside stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember I played like a Jakey Lee solo or a Van Halen solo for Dave, and Dave would go, wow, man, you do that note for note. It's exactly. And I kind of chuckled to myself, because it's not really note. It's not note for note. But what I can do pretty close is the way they do the vibrato or the pick attack, or the way he can I can do it right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can play Van Halen like Eddie plays it.
With the swing.
With the swing. I can do the swing, and I can make the note sing the way he makes it sing, and I can make it sound like I'm playing his solos exactly, even though I'm definitely not. But I got the vibrato and the vibe and stuff like that. But that's what I concentrated on coming up, was that sort of thing. Like with Yngwie, I was still a huge Yngwie fan, but it wasn't the fucking shredding that got me excited. It was the other stuff, the vibrato, or the
big
way
wide vibrato.
Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, the note would scream, like he'd slide up and do something and like make it scream. And I was like, I got to do that. That was more important to me than the scale he was playing, or exactly how he was picking, that kind of stuff. And that goes for all the guys.
I think ultimately a lot of people don't pay enough attention to that stuff. They pay attention to the notes, but they can't play. They're playing the notes, but they're not playing it.
Exactly.
With the right attitude, or the right feel, or the right attack, or realistically, your sound is dependent on your hands and how your hands sound, how you make the guitar sound through the amp. The biggest answer is, how do you play Van Halen like Van Halen? Well, you need to play like Van Halen first. You need to have his touch and his hands.
Yeah.
Because I've heard him play through a little line 6 practice amp, and you swear to God it was like, wow, look at that shitty amp, and boy, he sounds just like it.
Exactly.
There's a good example. You ever hear those things with Steven Rosen, those old interviews where he's sitting down talking to Steven Rosen, and this was back like the second record or something, and he's has a guitar in his hand, and it's either plugged into a clean amp or it's just acoustic. Like he has a guitar in his hands, and totally clean. And he starts showing him the riffs of the new record and stuff. You hear him play those riffs with the harmonics, the picks, the squeals, the scrapes, everything. Clean, or even acoustically on the electric guitar, and every note, every little thing. And guess what? There's no lack of sustain. There's no lack of anything. He's nailing all the hammer-ons and pull-offs and everything on a bone clean.
Yeah,
that's great to hear.
Yeah. I remember having the realization as well. I remember seeing a video of George Lynch, also one of my biggest heroes. He goes, I'm going to play a Jimi Hendrix song now, and I've got a 1968 He had all the vintage shit. He had a 54 Strat stock plugged into an old Marshall, and I don't even think he might have had a pedal. I don't know. I don't remember. But, man, it sounded like he was playing Mr. Scary. I mean, it was like the same tone, same feel. It was George. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So it really is. It really is hands. Yeah. But to whoever asked that question, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but thank you. It's a high praise indeed. Eddie Van Halen rules, dude. So thank you.
Very cool. Yeah. No, we love, obviously Van Halen's huge. I even have an EVH shirt right on my thing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan. Maron Khan actually has a question. I don't want to put you on the spot, but he says, "Get Doug a Friedmann Metro D."
Metro D.
That's the set neck guitar.
That's the set neck Friedmann.
Oh, okay. Tell me about it. I'm intrigued.
Didn't you see it at NAMM? No.
Probably. I just don't remember what. Is it a short scale or?
Yeah, it's a Gibson scale.
Okay.
You know, in the vein of your Nags or Les Paul or different.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to see one again.
Yeah. Okay. For
to
sure.
remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it was? When Doug came in the room, he was just in the room, and you grabbed one of the guitars and just was playing, but the Metro Ds were on the other side of the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably didn't see him. So let's see. We've got Chord the Seeker says, "Doug is one of my favorite guitars." So that's cool. It's always nice to hear.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm scrolling down here. Okay, Charles G Guitar. Dave, would you consider building a JCM 800-ish sounding solid state amp? I know the answer to that. No.
You didn't even let me answer. No.
Okay. I wanted to say no first. Yeah, I didn't.
Probably
think so.
not.
Yeah, like 100 or 20 or so watts. I thought about it, but I can't build it. Yeah.
Better yet, why?
Yep. Caleb Rappoport. What's going on, Caleb? I don't think you guys spell your names different, but Caleb, how's it going? He says Eddie doesn't read music, all ear and memorization.
Well, yeah. I got to tell you, one of the biggest disappointments I ever had coming up as a musician was believing that my heroes had no musical training whatsoever, and then finding out later that they in fact really did in some way or another. So, like, I could have gone to a music college, but I was like, no, Eddie has no education. J.K. Lee doesn't have any education, and all my heroes that I believed didn't know anything about music, just were like raw street guys, and Eric Johnson. All these guys are. All my favorite guitar players are classically trained piano players, man. I mean,
well, yeah, there you go. Eddie Van Halen was classically trained.
He's a classic, and he says he never read. I find that a little hard to believe. I'm sure he can read a little bit, because he used to win these competitions playing these big ass classical pieces, and I imagine he had to read a little bit of it.
Years ago at a party at his house, I remember sitting there watching him, at least for what I can sort of remember of the party, sitting there playing grand piano while a girl was on a trapeze above him. It was the most surreal, like trippy. And I was on my way out the door, and I'm like, wait, I want to listen to this. And he was actually, really playing on the grand piano, and it was really, really cool. No, this was way after that. This was in the dark days.
Oh, okay. When he was like wearing duct tape for shoes.
Yes. The dark days.
Yeah, those are bad days. Was he playing well on the piano though?
I was really drunk, maybe. Don't really remember.
Doesn't matter anyway. It was surreal, like you said.
It seemed cool at the time.
Right.
So.
That's cool.
That doesn't drunk.
That was like 20 drinks in, though.
Yeah, you said it was open bar.
It was open bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Open season.
And that video of you when he's playing Jump, that video keeps popping up around on.
Oh yeah, where I light a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
Yep.
If you ever see that video, Doug, have you ever seen that?
I have seen it. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy singing, that's Eric Dover. That's the guy I said calls it the inside stuff.
Eric's a badass.
Yeah, he was good.
Fantastic. What a mega talent that guy is.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known him for a lot of years. I made a rack for him way back when he was. What was the band he was in?
Jellyfish? Couldn't have been Jellyfish. He was in Jellyfish.
Wasn't there another? There was another band too.
He did Alice Cooper for a while.
No,
maybe for that. No?
Also in the '90s at some point, early '90s.
Snake Pit? No, he was a
No,
singer.
that wasn't Snake Pit. It was a signed band. It was his own band, I think. I can't remember now.
Oh, Sextopolis or Sex?
No.
Sextus.
No. Maybe it was Jellyfish.
No.
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember doing the rack.
So, Caleb Rappoport.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kat. What were you going to say, Dave?
Oh, nothing. I was going to say, he remembers, never mind. It's gone. It was good at the time. Oh, it's too late.
Lost it forever.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think, Dave, when you were saying Caleb Rappoport says that he was playing Romeo Delight with the harmonic intro when he was doing that interview.
Oh, yeah? Who, me? I was playing it?
No. The that interview, Dave, you were talking about with Eddie.
Oh, maybe there was other stuff he was playing too, though. This was Steven Rosen. It was like an old
Guitar World interview, right?
Guitar World or something. I'm sure you can find it if you search around on the internet.
Yeah.
It's just audio, it's not,
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's really cool to listen to. Totally clean. Everything's there.
Have to find it.
So
was a Spanish Fly.
When all you guys say you need more gain, listen to that.
Right.
I got to tell you, man, 1984 is one of my favorite albums of all time. There's hardly any gain on his guitars on that album. And I think it's my most favorite produced. I think Eddie produced it.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. I like House of Pain and all those.
Yeah.
All those crazy like solos in the background and you're riding out, on yeah. I know a few of them. I watched you play them at our booth a few times.
Yeah. And there's hardly any gain on those guitars, man. Hardly any gain.
Well, Dave, that
gorgeous.
That bootleg that that we were listening to, the one from Tucson, he's pretty clean there too. Not a lot of gain.
Nope.
It's just volume.
Stock Marshalls, baby. A lot of volume. That's
what it was. It's volume with sustain, but it's not gain.
Well, the sustain became because of the volume.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's the equation that's missing. So everyone keeps turning their gain up higher and turning their gain up higher.
Yeah.
But really, they need to turn their volume up more and turn their gain down. and there's the fine line between it,
Yeah.
There's a spot.
If you can learn to play with less gain, and you can teach yourself to do it, it'll be way better off. Like when you record, turn the gain down. Just turn it down. There's someone I was just reading something. This Eric Valentine was talking about working with someone or something, and how he would get a sound up and then start turning the gain down until the player became uncomfortable with it. And then that's where he'd leave it. Like just where he could just do it. And then when you heard it back, it's massive sounding. Look at all the AC/DC stuff.
Yeah.
There's no gain on the AC/DC stuff. It's like clean.
But I'll tell you what happens is, I came up playing high gain stuff, and as I get older, and I'm sure a lot of guitar players on the wrong side of 40 will tell you this, but you start to lose interest in the gain. You want less gain as you get older for some reason. And I've learned to play with a low gain, and the good thing is the sound is better for sure, but like I've become uncomfortable with high gain. And when I go out to play, when I go on tour, all soundmen demand a low stage volume. They all fucking demand it. They get really bent out of shape when you play your amps loud. So you have to start putting gain on and all this fizzy shit. And it's hard for me, man. I can't. You can't play a clean amp, a cleanish distorted sound on an amp when it's turned down really low, and you're not going to get sustain. It's not going to happen. So, you know, now I got to crank all this gain, and it's like I can't control high gain anymore. I mean, I used to be able to, no problem, but now it's like, I'm like, you know, it's really bizarre. So I forgot how to do it.
Yeah. But you know what? A really good sound man worth his salt.
Yeah.
Won't tell you to turn down.
Yeah. They're out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of volume, we actually have a good question from John Sims. He wants to know for you, Doug, do you wear earplugs while you're on stage?
I wear in-ear monitors. Yeah.
Okay.
So
now, do you find that also helps the volume, or do in-ear monitors somehow like increase the amount of volume that's going in your ears?
it can do. It can do. I don't like in-ear monitors. I don't know many rock guitar players that like in-ear monitors because a mic'd up guitar amp sounds horrible in ears. It's awful. It's like a pig nose. Like you dial up this killer sound, and then you put on your ears and you're playing through a pig nose. You know, so I despise it. And for a long time, I was touring with a Kemper because it was just a way to mitigate that somehow, just to get me some kind of sound that sounded like an actual like decent guitar amp. Other than that, if I could have my way, I'd go back to wedges, and I might entertain the idea of using earplugs, you know, because for the obvious reasons. But yeah,
gotcha.
Ribbon mic on the guitar.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes it better for your in-ears.
It does. We do that. We have a 57 and a ribbon, and I definitely lean towards the ribbon for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of ribbon mic would you recommend?
Well, there's a couple really cool ones. There's a SE Electronics makes one, Voodoo 1, I think, or something. The SE Electronics Voodoo 1. It's not very expensive. That one works really well. That's Steve Stevens' favorite. That's what he just uses that alone on his cabs.
Really? Live or
live? Dead center. Dead center on the cone because the ribbon, you know, is always a little darker. That's a good one. He said that's about the best he's heard in his in-ears. And then there's also I know there's one that Pete Thorne's been using in the studio a lot. Sterling Audio. They make a active ribbon mic, which also is pretty low cost. I think it's only like a couple $100. And he uses that in a bunch of his videos and stuff, and it sounds really great by itself.
Yeah, I'm writing this down right now.
It captures more of what the amp sounds like in the room.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I like that. Yeah.
So that's better. So
all the demos I did were all just a 57.
Yeah.
You can get good out of 57 too.
Oh, of course you can.
Yeah, definitely. It's great mic.
Yeah, I was just saying with the inners when you're talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a different thing. And also, if they can put a little reverb in your ears.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys are doing that, so it gives them a little space, so it doesn't sound like a dry buzzsaw.
Exactly. Yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they can do that.
You got a good question from Keith from the Guitar Guru Network. What's going on, Keith?
Hey, Keith.
He says, Dave, what was the catalyst for the Metro D's name?
Metro Detroit, actually.
Ah.
No, cities generally known as Metro Detroit or the metro area, you know. So
I didn't know.
Yeah. Just a little heritage, you know.
That's cool. That's good stuff.
Seems like I'm there like half the year lately.
Yeah, you've been there a lot. Charles G says, I learned how to play Light Up the Sky from Doug. He's laughing. Let's see. Chris Potts, can you talk about how you approach soloing over chord changes? Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Jeez. My approach is harsh. I guess being able to visualize chord shapes on the fretboard. That's how you do it. So you're like, if like, you know, if you're playing like an A, you know, you got, right, and then you go to the 4 chord, you got to visualize that shape, right? Okay, so you can do that kind of stuff. And then the 5, you can visualize that shape right there. You know, these shapes, all these shapes. You know, once you learn to see the chord shapes, visualize, see them like on the fretboard where they lay, you can target those notes. Mm-hmm. And then you know, you have to know your chord shapes. You have to know them all over the neck. You have to know your scale patterns all over the neck, and so you never get lost. Which I still get lost. I mean, I think Alan Holdsworth, God rest his soul, probably the only guy who never got lost. But anyway, you know, like I can just see the chord shapes, and you target them, also keeping in mind what key you're in the whole time. So when you do revert to scale shapes as opposed to the chord shapes, you're not lost. You know, so always keep in mind what key you're in, know all your scale patterns, be aware of all the different shapes for chords, visualize them on the neck, target those tones. And you can use, like, to get jazzy, you can just use chromatics, you know. You know what I'm saying? You can just target those notes and it will tell you, and you can speak that chord through your notes just by visualizing the shapes. I hope that answers the question.
No, man, that was awesome in less than 2 minutes. Less than a minute.
Cool. That's why I'm a lousy teacher, man. I give all my secrets away in like 4 minutes, and the guy paid for an hour, and then I'm just sitting there going.
That's fun. So Chris Potts, I hope that helped you out. So we got Tom McDermott. He says, Doug, saw you at Skinny's in NoHo a couple years ago. So awesome. Any plans for a second record?
Man, I've been doing a second record for about 8 years now. Yeah, man, I got plans, but making it happen's a little tough. I got touring commitments, kids, lots of excuses. I got tons of excuses. No, I do have plans. I do. I would like to, get a little bit of management behind me. A little more collaboration on this. I've been doing everything on my own for forever, and I'd like to get some collaborations going and put out something serious and killer with some budget on it, and tour on it, and go see the world and come see all you guys, man. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm working up right now. So, yes.
Sweet. All right.
Cool.
Sounds good. So, Dave, you're going to cringe when I ask this question.
Oh, no.
Joel E. wants to know, when's the Friedmann Celestions coming?
Never.
What?
Don't buy them. Forget it. Are they coming?
You will actually see them available next NAMM. Not summer, winter, along with some new cabinets and stuff too.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to offer a little series loaded with them.
So it'll be available right after.
Actually available, yeah. I mean, technically they're going to be in and available.
Oh, that's nice.
So.
Cool. And is that the same for some of the other products as well, like the Mic No Mo? I saw someone.
No, that's the I think the Wah will be the first thing that's available from last year's NAMM. That should be this summer. And then the Mic No More is probably to follow. And then the other two pedals got delayed a little bit. So unfortunately, we're looking at like end of November, maybe.
Mhm. So that was the DPOD.
Which is now the BEOD Deluxe, by the way.
Gotcha.
So
I think I like that name better.
Yep.
And
Mike No More will be available.
is it Mike No More or now was it Mike No Mo?
Mike No Mo.
Okay.
M-O.
M-O, right.
So yeah.
Oh, and the golden pearl.
Also could be used as a weapon if you threw it at someone. This is quite heavy.
Use it for self-defense.
Yeah.
And what was the other pedal? The golden pearl?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be available also.
Super great low gain drive that just boosting already like amps like JCM 800s or something that's already crunchy and you just want to take it a little bit further but still have it be really transparent sounding.
Cool. I just lost the question. Someone had asked, how do you add subtle gain to a Marshall 2204? I was going to say, get yourself a
Buxom Boost.
Buxom Boost, exactly.
That'll boost that thing beautifully. Or the new Golden Pearl. Little different.
Yeah.
But if you just want a tiny bit, well, either one will do it. Just do it a little bit.
What about something that takes your tone, like a lower gain sound, and pushes it into singing sustain without adding fizziness to it? What do you think?
So lower gain or semi broken up clean sort of kind of stuff?
Like an AC/DC or Def Leppard type of rhythm sound, but you don't want to add too much more gain. You know, you want to keep the same kind of gain sound structure, but boost your lead tone, give it a little bit more volume, and get some of that singing sustain added onto it.
Just a little more, almost like compression.
Yeah.
Kind of. Without adding too much gain.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's another pedal coming.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
There's another pedal coming that kind of does something like that. So
great.
Which is unnamed as of yet.
Okay.
Oh, it's a chance to have the Doug Rappoport signature.
Sus drive.
Doug's drive. There you go. Here's an interesting question. Dr. Noberson. Dave, I hear a lot of people starting to say tube amps are 1930s amateur radio technology, and it's all about modeling these days. What do you say to this?
Here's the thing. Play them in the same room back to back and tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm.
At a decent volume. And tell me.
With a band.
Just even in the room. Tell me it's the same. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't react the same. It doesn't have as much weight. If you see a band using a Kemper or any of the modelers, it just doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't have the impact. It's almost like MP3 versus vinyl. Yeah, it's the same song, but there's a real big difference. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can listen to it. You know, someone might listen to it and just go, "It's the same," but then it's not. And then the other thing I find with all those things is you'll sit there and go, you know, yeah, I just want to turn the gain up. What page is it on? Click, click. You know, or you spend all your time tweaking your sound to try to get it perfect, which it never is, and you're not playing guitar anymore.
Right, you're spending more time tweaking than playing.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Or it's I remember this distinctly too. This kind of reminds me of this also. I remember one amp show a bunch of years ago. Our deceased friend Kenny, Guitar Center was there, and they were showing the new Gibsons with the Robo tuners, you know. And so he's like sitting down, looking at him. It's like trying to contemplate what this is, you know. And then he asks some person, "Well, how does this work?" And then this person shows him, and it's not working. and he goes, "Well, how this isn't working like you said it works." So then they call someone else over, you know, like a Gibson expert, and then he's trying to explain it to him, and then it's still not working right. and he just gets up and goes, "Fuck this shit. Just give me a regular guitar with some regular tuners. The whole thing would be tuned by now."
Yeah.
So, sort of the same thing. Here's an amp, and here's 6 knobs. Oh, there we go. Okay, ready? Let's go.
And you know what? Maybe they got it right in the 1930s technology.
It's possible.
Yeah, because you know, at the end of the day, I've tried a Kemper. I've got my positive grid head, you know, that I've got here. I've tried them all. Try to get one to really naturally feed back.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I toured for about, I want to say 2 years with the Kemper, and there's a lot of pluses to it. I got it for the in-ears. That's the only reason I got it.
Mm-hmm.
The front of house guys love it because they don't have to deal with you being too loud on stage. They have total control. It's a decent sounding. I mean, they sound good.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, so they love it. The front of house guys just jizz all over it. And then now I'm back to using the tube amps, and because I miss it. I missed it. I just missed having, it's that thing you can't even say. You can't describe what it is. It's there's a punch, there's a speaker tube signal reaction that happens.
Yeah.
And even our front of house guys was going like, I love the Kemper, but man, there is something with that dynamic of the player into the amp.
Yeah.
You know, the tube's reacting and breathing, and then the speaker fucking spazzing out, doing what it does.
It's alive.
It's a whole synergy there, and it is different, and it is better. It is better.
Yeah. Not to say that, you know, the Kemper and these things don't have a place. They're great, you know, but still, like, yeah. So thanks, Dr. Noberson, for your question. Richard Butler says, "Love your show, guys." Thank you.
Hey, you know, there's one thing to add to that too.
Yeah.
Can you honestly look at any of those modelers and go, "Oh man, that's cool"? Right? You look at the Kemper and you go, "What is that?" and it's just like there's I don't know, maybe we're old, but growing up with, you know, the image of, you know, cool amps on stage and stuff, it's still embedded in my head.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at your white half stack there, Mark, and you're like, "Oh man, that's cool." You know?
Exactly. That's
Just
why I
looks
have
cool.
it. Do I need a 100-watt half stack in my bedroom? No, but it just looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
It is.
And it sounds great, and it sounds amazing. There's no doubt about it. And then when I want to crank it up, I will. But
Like we had really guilty enjoyment on the show in Detroit that we did with Dave Black, because Doug, you would have loved it. It was 5 cabinets, 412s, 2 stacks, and another one with 2 heads stacked on top of the other one.
Yeah.
All in red.
oh.
With black grills and white nameplates and stuff. And it looked visually, just, you look at it and you went, "Oh man, that's fucking cool."
Yeah.
You know,
I
so
bet it sounded awesome too.
yeah, it sounded great, but I mean, like, visually it looked fucking, you know, badass. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, he used 2 cabinets out of those, but you know,
It still looked killer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Meron Khan, good question here. Doug, what pedals are on your current pedal board?
It changes all the time. The only thing that hasn't changed is I have a Boss DD20 for delay, which is awesome. I actually just spoke to Dave, and he was like, "You got to get the new one." What'd you say it was called, Dave?
DD500.
Okay, DD500. So
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get that, but I've had the DD20 gig, whatever it's called, forever.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wah pedal, the Bradshaw one, Dunlop makes it. Yeah,
Custom audio.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best one. And I have 2 J-Rocket pedals on my pillboard right now. The Guthrie Trap signature pedal.
Oh, the GTO?
Is that what it's called? GTO?
I think the Guthrie Trap Overdrive, the GTO. I think that's
okay. Yeah. So I use that, and then I have another J-Rocket pedal called the Blue Note, which is an outstanding pedal. For boost, it does boost. It could be a gain pedal in its own right, but man, is it transparent. If you like transparent boost, great pedal. And then Phase 90, EVH, Phase 90, because you gotta. Yeah. And I think that's it. And then a Boss tuner. That's it. That's what I take on the road. So
that's cool. We got a part 2 to that question from Eric Fraser. He said, for a fly gig, what would be your one? He says one grit pedal, but I guess what would be your one distortion pedal? I guess he's asking.
Distortion pedal
or overdrive, grit pedal, dirty pedal.
I have done very well, like any situation pedal. The Bogner Ecstasy Blue pedal has served me very, very well. I could take that and a little delay pedal like a Seymour Duncan Vapor Chill or whatever, and I can do anything. You know what I mean? Like in a pinch, like someone says, come do this, I can just take those 2, plug into pretty much any amp, and
you're golden.
And I'm gone. I'm good. I can do anything and sound really good. So yeah.
Pedal that I bought, I really love also, Dave. Have you ever tried the Bogner Lagrange?
Yeah.
It's a cool pedal.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's got a variac feature on it, which is very, very reactive. It sounds very cool.
Yeah,
yeah, it's cool. John Sims also asks, is Eddie sound a greenback sound? Well, he mixed
mostly greenbacks. He's mostly known for greenbacks.
Yeah.
That was kind of the standard back then, wasn't it? That's just what came in.
That was pretty much what came in the Marshalls, yeah.
Yeah, he was asking Celestion greenbacks. Yep. Looking else. Doug, what was the inspiration for Bionic Wars? I'd love for Dave to make an isolation cab. So first question, Doug, what was the inspiration for Bionic Wars? From John? Yeah, I guess so. From John James McKeough?
Oh, yeah. John, how you doing, buddy? I know that guy. What was the inspiration for Bionic Wars? It just evolved as I was recording it. I was just, I don't know, man. I was just, I just one of those things. I'd record a part and then write another part, and I kept adding. It just sort of became something as I went along. I was just a very inspired time in my life when I was writing it. I know I released the album 10 years ago, but I had written it earlier, and I had my son was 2 years old at the time or something like that. So I was a new dad, and I was just an incredibly inspired time, and I just kind of whipped that album out like nobody's business. It was just like, boom, it happened. And it was all that way. It was just one song after another, just piecing it together. They sort of became something as I stuck them together. I was like, oh yeah, this is going here. I'll add this. Okay, now I know where this is going. It all happened. It all evolved as I went along. So unlike there are guys like Bumblefoot, like the guitar player is a genius musician, and like the greatest guitar player in the world. And he writes everything in his head. It's all there. He composes it, writes it, lyrics, arrangements, solo, everything's in his head. It's done. And it's just a matter of getting to his his studio and plugging it in and laying it down. So me, I'm more, oh, okay, you know, I start to piece it together like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. I wasn't familiar with the song, so that's cool.
All right, cool.
Charles G wants to know, Doug, do you use Duncan 59s in any guitar?
I don't. I used to, because when Nags, when I got my first guitar from Nags, they were 59s in there, and I liked them very much. But they did what I was talking about at the beginning of the program, is that they are low output, underwound, and they just weren't quite enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't use them anymore, but they are excellent pickups, just not hot enough for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because somebody had posted, I don't remember their name earlier, they were having a problem with, I think they said their Duncan JB pickup. It was reading half of what it should be. And supposedly the
broken.
JB is, yeah, it's either broken, or I had a problem where one of the wires was actually soldered to the other wire and caused some weird thing when I was reading it. So, but yeah, it's an overwhelmed pickup, the JB, but I don't particularly like how it sounds.
I used it forever. That was my pickup until I started playing
JB
Nags.
can sound, I don't know. I like JB. I think that's,
Yeah, I used it forever.
Yeah.
for a higher gain pickup, I like it.
I got really good with a JB. I got to say, I'm tooting my horn again, but I did. I got real good. I can send you like videos of me playing with my Les Paul with a JB in it. You'd be like, what? Because I could get it really, really low output sounding, like, and it was a hot pickup, man.
Mm-hmm.
I could really work it. I could get it sounding really PA-y, man. But they're good pickups. They are a little saturated for sure. Not as open sounding, but for my money, man, yeah, you can't do.
Well, it sort of
can't do
depends on
much
the
worse.
amp you're using with them too. It's
True. That's true.
They sound great into an old Marshall, like a dimed out old Marshall. They sound killer into it. So they just kind of push it over the edge a little more.
Yeah, I love JBs. Yeah,
I got an old one here. I got to go visit MJ up there and have her fix it. It's microphonic. I gotta.
maybe just dunk it some paraffin. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go visit her up there at the Seymour and the customs.
Yeah, she's promised some food and tamales, fresh tamales.
That's actually how I discovered the 78. Was I went up there to visit, and I met MJ, and I told her she had wound. I had an old JB that was my favorite, and I like bowed and I thanked her for it, and she was so sweet. She said, "I'm going to make you a pickup," and she made me a 78. And so that's how I discovered it. So
yeah, the 78 is a great pickup. You know what pickup I also want to grab is the Warren D. Martini.
Yes.
Have you heard that pickup?
You know, that's essentially
no.
It's essentially a JB, but it's
with like a low magnet in it or something like that.
Yeah, a little. I think a little less on the wind, and then an El Nico 2 magnet. I think. I think. Don't quote me.
But I'm a Warren fanatic, so I gotta have one. So
yeah.
Gotcha.
So that brings up a subject.
Yeah.
Speaking of Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rat. Yeah. No Warren.
No Warren and Rat. Just Stephen Piercy. Basically.
And Juan Crozier.
Yes.
From what I understand, not even Carlos Cavazzo. I think he's gone too.
Carlos!
It's crazy.
Oh, boy.
So, is anyone going to go see that show? I mean, I'm not.
No way. The whole reason why I went to see Rat this past year was because Warren was on tour with him.
That's story, because that's the only reason to go see.
Right.
Here's a cute story. I did years ago, Edgar. We opened up for Stephen Piercy actually had the band, and he opened up for us for Edgar Winter, and I was so excited because I was a huge Rat fan, and so Stephen came backstage. I ran up to him, Stephen, oh my God, I love you guys so much. I'm a huge fan of it. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, like this, and I go, man, Warren Dimmer, and he's my biggest hero. Oh my God, Warren, he's so great. And Stephen looks at me, and goes, yeah, Warren's good. Like that. And I went.
Yeah, so that there you go. That answers it right there, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you not see the immense
yeah.
talent?
How do you see that your career's over?
Yeah, exactly. It's over. It's over, Johnny.
Shit.
That's too bad. Too bad. Let's see. If you don't mind, we're going to go for just a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. Metal Madness 66. Dave, when are you getting Cantrell on this show? Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. Well,
After me?
What Mark just said on that right there at the end of your statement there. Exclamation point, question. I don't know. It'll happen eventually. You don't understand.
And after me, come on, guys.
Hey, look, you got a friend there behind you.
Hi, baby.
Hello. There you go. Nice.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
What's her name?
Amelie.
Amelie.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
That's Mark. And that's Dave. I'm doing a podcast. I'll be in a few more minutes, okay, baby? Okay, I'll be right now.
That's cute.
Okay, babe. I'll be right out.
We'll be almost done. We got 2 more minutes.
Okay.
All right. So Metal Madness 66. We will get Cantrell on the show. Jerry will come on the show. He's on tour right now, so there's nothing we can do about that. But I think there's a break between his tour. We might be able to try something there. But I know Dave, it takes a little bit of work. So, but we definitely want to have him on the show. Let's see if there's any other questions that I missed.
Yeah, there were some other things here. So, what's the reaction to Slash making an offer to purchase BC Rich? You hear about that?
I didn't hear about that.
I heard about that.
Oh.
I think that's a good thing. Because at one point in time, BC Rich had really high-end killer, guitars way back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
I'd rather see him buy Gibson.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a big price difference.
Yeah, that's true.
So, hey, why not?
That's true.
Then someone else had said, yeah. Phil Smith. See, Phil, here's Phil. Phil said, sorry, Dave, but that heavily sounds like an old fart argument. For some people, Kemper, Axe, and whatever looks way better than some ugly Marshall. It's a fact. It's a different generation. Yeah, well, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Okay, how about a new amp? I'll take a new amp even. A 5153. I like that better too. It looks better. Come on. I'm not just talking about old Marshall. No.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just wrong. It's not right. Sorry.
Hang on a second.
Call me whatever you will.
Does this look cool?
Out of all those amps, that one looks slightly better than some of the other ones because they made it look kind of retro. But even they're trying to make it look retro to appeal to people
right.
that, want an old amp.
But it's still, yeah. At least it doesn't
so
have.
I don't know. Is vinyl antiquated? Why is it selling better than anything out there right now?
Is it?
Vinyl, yeah. Every year vinyl goes up in sales.
Wow, man. That's terrific.
So, I mean, it's doing really well. And so, I guess that's very antiquated too. I guess everyone's old farts. All the millennials buying records are
yeah.
But it is true though. To the guy's point, there is an iconic attachment to rock and roll music. Like I played Les Pauls for a long time, and now I play Nags. And I swear, man, every time I see a Les Paul, I'm just like, And I have people who play my Nags, and they go, "My God, this is an incredible guitar," but they can't put down the Les Paul just because it's like that's rock and roll, man. It's like that's part of the iconic thing. It's the amp and the Les Paul. So, you know, there's a lot more attached to it than I think.
Just brand loyalty.
Yeah, there's just what's rock and roll, man. It's just not rock and roll to have a little toaster.
And, you know, and then how many young guitar players are listening to Black Sabbath and you know, Jimi Hendrix and all the old stuff. I know a lot of them.
Yeah,
that are totally deeply into that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know, like, you know, one of our artists, Sammy Bowler, is amazing guitar player. Young, he's like 24, 25, and you know, one of his favorite guitar players is Randy Rhoads. It's way before his time, man. You know, and he's an amazing guitar player. He does some videos for Guitar World and stuff. And if you haven't checked out anything he does, check it out, Doug. He does these really cool tapping, two-handed. It's hard to explain. You just gotta watch it. I know I posted some videos on my Facebook page and stuff for him doing clips of things and stuff.
A lot of the young guys. I got a student.
Really unique and interesting.
Yeah. Same here. I got a lot of young I had students when I was teaching. They were young guys, and you know, they're like 20, 21 years old. Also, they're into the old stuff, and they love Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen and Warren Martini and all those. Gary Moore. They're really into it.
Yeah.
Do you still give lessons, Doug?
No, that last lesson I gave, that's the last time. Never again. No, I don't teach anymore. I don't really teach anymore. Maybe sometime in the future I will, but no, I won't teach.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because Chris Potts had asked if you do Skype lessons. So, okay. All right. Well, I think
a lot of money. Maybe he might.
There you go.
Yeah.
I saw Brent Mason was giving lessons. He was offering guitar lessons at his house for like 2 hours, and it was $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Brent Mason, man.
Yeah. I know, but still.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy player. All right. Anything else you want to cover, Dave, before we say goodbye?
I don't know. Someone else had something in here about some old Marshalls, difference between plexis and early 70s, or which is your favorite, or something like that. And now I can't find it. Well, the ones I like are generally super lead spec Marshalls. So that can be a plexi, or it could be a 69 or a 70. Kind of all the same, sort of. So I think that might have answered it.
Agreed. I agree.
Yes, sir. You know, anything from 68 through 72 or 3?
The hand wired. That's what hand wired.
The 4 input, crank it on 10. You know, crumble the walls. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I'd love those. I'd love to get an early 70s, like 71, 72.
Yeah. You have a power. Do you have a power station still, or did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have that, right? You got it from us, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still have.
Yeah, I mean, like you could have one of those and just crank it on 10.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, the power station's a great tool. Dave, I'm sending you my amp tomorrow, by the way.
Okay.
So speaking of that, while I have you here, what mod should we do to that?
How about we just make it stock?
Just a stock, but yeah,
but
just
good stock.
Good stock. Okay, I'm good for that.
And then
I want to do that too.
You can use it with the power station.
That's what I plan on doing. Yeah. Okay, this works for me. I'd like that. There was another question here that I missed. Oh, JJ House of Jams. Hey, Dave, would you run your Friedmann ASM at full level and control volume from the source? Cheers.
Yes. Or maybe down just a little and then control it from the source. Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought you were going to say no. I thought you were going to go yes or no.
See, now here Benjamin Murphy says, Dave, when are we going to get your take in a straight up no frills BS single channel plexi early 70s metal face Marshall? It's funny you say that. Maybe sooner than you think.
Yeah.
So maybe sooner than you think. I might not make it look exactly like a Marshall, but it'll be like a cool, retro look for us old timers.
There you go.
Us with the old fart arguments.
That's right.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah. I really want to do that because I love that, and I have a great example. And John Shanks also has one of our partners in the whole thing has a couple great examples of some really cool plexis and stuff. So, and he's been he's been bugging me to do it, so I'm doing it.
Great, that's great news.
Nice. We got to get John Shanks on the show too. When's that happening?
Yeah, I can make that happen. Sure.
Yeah, because he wanted to come on with Steve Lukather, but
yeah, I don't know if I want to put the two together.
Yeah, keep them separate. Well, it's just logistically it becomes harder to do it with both.
Yeah, it becomes way harder to do it.
Yeah, so it'd be better just to do it separately. So, okay. Greg D, we got one comment from Greg D. BC Rich, so much wasted potential, could be a rock and guitar company. What's your favorite BC Rich body shape?
Oh,
I'm only familiar with the Mockingbird, I think, right?
No,
whatever one Rick Derringer played. What was that one?
What was the one? And what was the one that like Joe Perry played also? And not the Warlock.
Something Bird.
Mockingbird, maybe. Probably the Mockingbird. I think that's it.
That's what I said before.
Mockingbird. No, it's a Mockingbird. That's what it is.
Neil Giraldo played one too, which is he's a great guitar player.
Oh, I loved his.
Oh
stuff,
yeah, man.
He played one for a long time too.
There you go. I should try to get him on.
Yeah,
you know him?
He's amazing.
Yes. Well, yes. Not really well, but I've had several conversations with him over the years.
What a great player.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, and he's like a session guy too. I mean, he did stuff that people probably don't even know that he played on.
Yeah.
Like especially like that. What was it? Rick Springfield.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, all right. Well, you know what? Let's wrap up. I know Doug, your family's.
There we go. Mockingbird. That's what we're talking about. Mockingbird.
Yeah, Mockingbird. That's what I thought I said. Didn't I say that?
I think you might have said
that. Okay. But Doug, where can people find you, reach you, plug any things that you want?
My website's DougRappoport.com. My Instagram is Doug_Rappoport. Please follow me. More the merrier. And if you could subscribe to me on my YouTube channel, just Doug Rappoport, that would be awesome. I've been a little lax on my videos as of late, but we're picking up. Like Dave said, we're going to be doing a bunch of videos of some Friedmann stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please subscribe. Please subscribe more to Doug's channel because he's going to be doing some more videos along here.
Awesome.
Yes.
And we want to have him have lots of viewers.
Yes.
Watch him play.
Yes. Please
we'll make sure to share it, and please subscribe to our channel as well, tone-talk.com. And we also have t-shirts still available. If anybody wants Tone Talk t-shirts, let me know. All right.
Yeah.
We still have sizes medium through extra large, extra large, actually. So, and next guest we don't have lined up, but Dave, you're going to be on the road for the next couple of weeks. Right? I
thought we had the next guest lined up.
Oh, we do have the next guest lined up. That's right. You're right. I totally forgot. I'm fucking fried. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Sean Tubbs.
Sean Tubbs is coming back on.
Sean is awesome.
Yeah,
Sean's a badass.
Sean,
yeah, dude.
Great player. So yeah, we just have to
Right.
work out the date because I know it was going to fall on the date that you were going to be at Sweetwater Fest. So if we can do it that date, otherwise we'll work it out.
Well, I just have to figure, like I said, like I'm going to be gone basically 2 weeks. So leaving on the 19th and returning, I don't know when I'm returning, 2 weeks later. And I just got to figure out if the internet's good enough. So
yeah, so we'll give it a shot.
We can figure it out, and I can do a test with you or something.
Okay.
I'll bring my headphones.
Okay.
As long as the internet's fine, it should be fine. So
yeah. Where would you do it? Like in your hotel room or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Doug, man, thank you so much. It was a pleasure getting to know you and having you on the show.
Mark. Thank you. Likewise, Mark. Thank you, Dave. Always great to see you.
Yep.
Had a great time. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody who chimed in and said hi.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome.
All right. Everybody have a great weekend, even though I'm so used to saying this on Friday. So enjoy your Friday tomorrow. Back to work, unfortunately. And enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch you probably in about 2 weeks. All right? Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.
See you guys later.
Doug, hang on 1 second.